WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 11.
New at 11, a federal judge orders President Donald Trump to return control of the National Guard to California. It's our top story at 11. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran. The order takes effect tomorrow at noon. It says the deployment of the National Guard was illegal and both violated the 10th Amendment and exceeded Trump's authority. The White House had no immediate comment on the ruling. Meanwhile, ICE raid protests continue in California, and reaction is pouring in after a U.S. senator was briefly detained and handcuffed for confronting Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Erica Brown is here for you now with all the details.
California Democratic Senator Alex Padilla spoke out shortly after he was forcibly removed from a Department of Homeland Security news conference about ICE immigration raids in Los Angeles.
If this is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing to farm workers, to cooks, to day laborers, out in the Los Angeles community and throughout California and throughout the country.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill reacted to the incident during which Padilla was detained after he audibly identified himself as a senator.
There can be no justification of seeing a senator forced to their knees, laid flat on the ground, their hands twisted behind their back, and being put into restraints.
It is beneath a U.S. senator. They're supposed to lead by example, and that is not a good example. We have to turn the temperature down in this country and not escalate it.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem on Thursday pledged to continue to enforce the Trump administration's immigration crackdown as protests approach the 1-week mark.
We are not going away. We are staying here to liberate this city from the socialist and the burdensome leadership that this governor and that this mayor have placed on this country.
The Trump administration sent about 700 U.S. Marines to the Los Angeles area in response to the immigration enforcement protests, in addition to some 4,000 National Guard troops. In San Francisco, a federal judge heard arguments in California Governor Gavin Newsom's lawsuit seeking to restrict use of the military sent to his state. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
Michigan U.S. Senator Elissa Slotkin weighed in on Senator Padilla's forced removal. Here's some of what she had to say.
This was a senator in his own state, in a federal building, doing his job, providing that oversight. The behavior was deeply uncalled for. There is simply no excuse for that kind of behavior. If they can manhandle a senior senator like that, they can literally do this to anybody.
Meanwhile, our other U.S. Senator, Gary Peters, announces that he has secured a commitment from key U.S. Army Corps of Engineers officials to prioritize the timely completion of the ongoing Sioux Locks construction project. Senator Peters has emphasized the importance of this critical project for U.S. economic and national security. He said a 6-month unscheduled outage at the Sioux would result in an estimated 11 million jobs being lost and a $1.1 trillion hit to the economy. Israel has now made the first move, attacking Iran's capital, with explosions booming across Tehran. Israel said it was targeting nuclear and military sites. The attack comes as tensions have reached new heights over Tehran's rapidly advancing nuclear program. The Board of Governors at the International Atomic Energy Agency censured Iran for the first time in 20 years over it not working with its inspectors. The U.S. has been preparing for something to happen, pulling some diplomats from Iraq's capital and offering voluntary evacuations for the families of U.S. troops in the Middle East. Michigan State University held its 5th annual Juneteenth commemorative celebration at the new Multicultural Center today. Juneteenth is a federal holiday commemorating the emancipation of enslaved African Americans on June 19, 1865 in Galveston, Texas. Photojournalist Sophie Dieters is here for you now with a look at the sights and sounds of the event.
Today we are celebrating the 5th annual Juneteenth commemorative event on our campus at Michigan State. Juneteenth is an acknowledgement, a federal holiday at this point, that really relates to when slaves in Texas, who were the last slaves who had gotten word about the Emancipation Proclamation, were actually free.
And what we're doing in here is the vendor fair. We're calling it the Black Wall Street, so we have that historical aspect. And we ask local vendors to come in. There's no charge for them to try to get the word out about their local business.
We also try to incorporate educational elements. So there's a lot to be said about having a celebration with food and music and dancing, but also the educational aspect of what is Juneteenth, the history of it, significance.
It is so energetic. So just the background and all the kids and the dancing and the energy is high. And there's so much just communion and fellowship. It's really, really, really empowering.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, tonight's showers and storms that are out there, a bit of a surprise as we've lost a lot of daytime heat, but for whatever reason tonight, the atmosphere said, no, we're not quite done just yet. Here's a look at live Storm Tracker 6 Doppler radar. We've got one shower over Holt heading into Lansing, another one just north of Potterville heading towards Grand Ledge and Mulliken, but none of this severe. Don't worry about that. The worst case is a little bit of thunder and lightning. There you can see some of the strikes that are occurring mainly on the west side over towards Grand Ledge. In fact, that latest strike near M43 and Benton Road. So there is enough instability to keep the thunder going for a little bit longer, but overall I expect that to begin to die down. This basic line is drifting to the north-northeast tonight, and as I said, I don't think it's going to stick around terribly long, but some of us will get a little bit of rain out of this over the next couple of hours. As we zoom out a bit, the bulk of the steadier rain is across northern sections of Wisconsin, heading into the UP and northern lower Michigan, and that's where I expect more widespread rain to occur through the overnight hours. 5-day rainfall outlook. There could be some heavy rain south of the state line in northern portions of the state of Michigan, but here in mid-Michigan, our rainfall a little bit lighter. The two areas of precipitation kind of dividing themselves. Day-by-day look at the breakdown. 30% chance for Friday, again, mainly during the afternoon hours. So as we head into Saturday, I expect there to be more significant rain, the bulk south of the state line. Some of it could sneak into mid-Michigan, however. We look good Sunday and Monday before more showers and storms, at least isolated afternoon type storms pop up on Tuesday. Stationary front to our north beginning to die out a bit, but that's where the heaviest rain will occur through tomorrow morning. Into tomorrow afternoon, again, a spotty shower or two here in mid-Michigan, steadier rain to our south and to our north. Moving ahead into Friday night and Saturday morning, this area of low pressure begins to drift a little further east. The stationary front begins to wash out a bit, so I suspect less activity Saturday afternoon to our north, and by the afternoon, less to our south, with just a slight chance of a pop-up shower or storm here in mid-Michigan. We check out the temperatures. They're sitting in the mid to the upper 60s tonight. Pretty mild out there. Been watching on the tower cams for some lightning strikes and not seeing a whole lot. Occasionally there'll be a little blip outside though. 69 currently McLaren cam with a wind gust today of 18 miles per hour. There was a lightning strike right on cue. In Grand Ledge, maybe a little better chance of some lightning out there tonight. 67 the current temp. Today's high was 76 degrees. Tonight in Jackson, looking quiet, temperature warm, 67 after a high today of 78 degrees. And finally in Hillsdale, our temperature now sitting at 67 degrees after a high today of 80. Tonight's forecast, 58 the overnight low with isolated storms for the next hour or so. Then for tomorrow, temperature-wise, looks good, 77 the high. Rainfall-wise, I don't think we're going to see much out there, just one or two pop-up showers or storms. The 6-day forecast, same thing on Saturday, then on Sunday for Father's Day, looks good, 81. Warm next week and humid Tuesday and Wednesday, a few showers and storms in the afternoon. Same thing Thursday and Friday, then clearing out and cooling off just a few degrees by next weekend.
We've definitely had a few hot days over the past couple of weeks, but next week, those are going to be some heaters.
Yeah, oh yeah, get ready to find the pool.
We appreciate it, David. Well, coming up on 6 News at 11. We'll have the latest on the deadly airplane crash in India. So stay tuned, 6 News at 11. We'll be right back.